I did my whole how I think this process should go. And then I tapped into my guides and they rewrote the whole darn thing. It was like, all right, that looks good. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sharon Duncan-Sylvia, and for 39 years I have been in the accounting field. I'm a tax strategist. I'm all things accounting. I'm very, very practical. I know my way around it. Personal, business, a corporate tax return. I know how to manage money, track money, report money. My office has reported almost $500 million of income and revenue to the IRS over the last 39 years. That's my area. The thing that makes me a little different than most, like most people will come into an accountant's office and they get uptight. My secret sauce is I go to the human first. And I'm also a channeler. What does that mean? What does a channel mean? I can tap into a realm that feels like it's different than my own. It's a higher vision. It's a higher space. It's the space that told me to connect and make this 5-day training and call it a training, not a challenge. We have enough challenges in our lives. We want some education around prosperity. It's the space that makes the skin on your body hair raise in a good way. It's the thing that makes you feel good. So this training is basically developed from all of the years I've had in the office with people sitting across my desk from me, and that intuitive hit came in, and how do we stop the angst around money so that we can actually help them thrive, forget about the money for a minute, help the human being thrive so that we can step into the bigger version, which is prosperity for our lives, and the results of which have been amazing. Let's talk about prosperity. Like, what is it? What is prosperity? A lot of people are attracted to the word because they want more money. It's a natural thing. The difficulty with that is money is very restrictive. There's so many things that come around with money, the mindset around money, that prosperity kind of gets lost. I'm not sure if that makes sense, and prosperity is such a bigger concept than the money. And if we can step into a prosperous mindset, the money eases and flows more easily. So if we can take the focus off of the money and step into the vision of prosperity and know that if there's any money difficulty, any debt, any money worry, I don't know how. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people suck. I've always been poor. I'm always going to be poor. That kind of mindset. If we can decide to just put that aside for right now and step into prosperity mindset, close your eyes or not, and just see how it feels in your body. Real prosperity is an inner awakening, a remembering of who you truly are and why you're here. The natural state of a soul that's aligned with purpose. It begins as a quiet spark inside your inner being, a warm, rising feeling that expands like a luminous bubble in your heart. As gratitude deepens for what is, your spirit opens. You start to feel guided rather than pushed, supported rather than strained. It's an inner spaciousness that grows from connection to yourself, to source, to the mission you came here to embody. This expansion naturally shifts your mindset, softens fear, and invites in more ease, more clarity, and more possibility. It's the feeling of your life unfolding the way it has always meant to be, grounded, grateful, and divinely guided. Prosperity, when you tap into the intentional process of nurturing that golden inner bubble, it builds a state of being that naturally allows abundance to flow in, because the resistance is gone and the invitation to prosperity has been sent. When we think of prosperity and then we think of money, which one feels better? In that light, what is nurturing in terms of prosperity? How do we build that prosperity into a bigger bubble, into a bigger feeling? This whole process was developed. I did my whole how I think this process should go. And then I tapped into my guides and they rewrote the whole darn thing. It was like, all right, that looks good. I really like what they have to say. But their biggest takeaway on prosperity is developing a vision of why you came here. Like, what's the soul's vision of why you came here? Why did you step into this body now? Like, why are you here on the planet now? Like, when that little spark of energy came down inside this body to waken up your heart and get you in, and you decided you want to come in on the planet, you may not subscribe to what I'm about to say, but this is the way I take it for myself. I decided I'm going to come into this body. I'm going to do all these things that I want to get done. And I have this soul vision that came to this heart, this energy, this beating my heart. And I'm connected to that part. But again, as a human being, I get lost in the daily living. And what the guides are saying really is, how do we reconnect to that soul's vision? Like, why are we here right now? And how can we build a vision around why are we here right now? What do we want to experience? Forget about the how and the I can't possibly do that, that's too big. What do we want to experience while we're here? You might want to experience some more financial flow and no medical difficulties. Like, that could be what you want to experience in the next chapter of what's happening in your life. Forget about the how. What experiences do you want? What kind of growth do you want? What lights you up? Is there a dream that you're scared to even say out loud because you think somebody's going to tell you that you're ridiculous? It's about building a vision, tapping into the vision of why you came here now. And that's the biggest way to build prosperity, is to step into that vision without judgment, with courage, with the idea that anything is possible. I have seen people come into my office with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, and they've gone into this vision, I can do this, and they've not only gotten out of debt, but they've made millions of dollars. So it was the decision, it was the vision, and it was the day-to-day action that actually stepped them into. But it starts with the vision. The call to action for today is to start investigating that vision for yourself. What do you want to experience while you're here? Forget about your 9-to-5 job. Forget about restraints. If you tapped into that higher self, that higher source, that higher spirit that called you here, what is it that you're meant to do? And write it down without judgment, without restriction. Like, I want to be a Pulitzer Prize winner. I don't write, but hey, wouldn't that be a fun thing to do? It could be monetary because you want to experience what it's like to not have the restriction around money. It could be around money. But if it's around money, there has to be a reason. Like, I want to be a 7-figure entrepreneur because I want to know what it feels like to accomplish that goal. How do we step into that vision? You can also ask yourself, is there any growth that you need to have? Like, if you want to be able to speak French, obviously you'd have to get some education around learning how to do it. That's my thing. That's one of my things on my list, of being fluent in French. I have to go to school for that. It's beginning with the vision. And when you think of that vision, how does that feel when it connects to prosperity? Does it feel like it's expanding the bubble a little bit? It feels good. And I promise you this, if there is money anxiety, if there is money worry, if there's money difficulty, if there's money restraint, stepping into this vision first helps to untangle that worry. When we can step into the vision and go, oh, and be grateful for what is. That's one of the biggest pieces, to be grateful for what is. If it's crappy, you don't like where you are right now with finances, be grateful for that because it's a teacher. The experiences we have in our lives are here to teach us. Being grateful for what is, regardless of if it's good or bad, also helps to build prosperity. So this is what the guide said, and this is how the day opened for all of us, because they were really clear on the vision. Like, I had a whole other agenda, and they're like, nope, it's the vision. When I get information, I have gotten evidence over and over and over again that it's real, from validation from other people. So when I get a download from my guides, it's like having a conversation with a tribe of people that really want a message to come out to help support human beings feeling better on the planet right now, because there's so much emotional discord happening everywhere, especially around finances. They really want to get this message out. So here's what they said. Your vision for your life is your pathway. It's your map forward. It gives you direction, life force, and purpose. It's what puts a spring in your step when you wake up in the morning. And yes, it can also scare the hell out of you because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Your vision is what gets you off the couch and drops you smack dab into the arena of life. That's why you came here. Not to sit and watch TV, but to be the leading role or the star of the show. I'm a big proponent of journaling. It makes that connection between the soul, higher soul, and the brain, and it also helps to solidify anything that you've learned for the day. It helps with transformation when we write it down. If you don't like journaling, don't call it journaling. Write it taking notes, like writing down some observations, whatever works for you, but writing does help the transformation.